Hi there, welcome to live stream Yoga with Louise, tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. Today we're fashioning a quick lightning legs flow. We're going to be playing first high and then low to the mat. As always, play when you're comfortable, modify when you need to, rest if and when you need to. You ready? Let's hit the mat. We're going to set up today coming into a plie line. So step the legs nice and wide, maybe aiming your toes for the front corners of your mat. Find a nice bend in the knees. Make sure that the knees are not collapsing in. So pretend that somebody's pushing from the inside and trying to open them up. You're going to relax your hands to your hip creases, and then you're going to start to pulse the pelvis towards the mat and softly away from the mat. Let's do maybe 10 little pulses up and down, keeping those knees and those feet tracking wide. I'm going to call that 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. You're going to end low to pulse for 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. Stay low and lift both heels off the floor and back to the floor for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten up the legs, reach through the arms, almost making a soft star-like frame with your body. Then square up through the feet. Relax your hands to your hip creases and fold forward into a standing straddle stretch. We're going to stop at the tabletop line today. Just try to give me a long line through the neck, the spine, thinking of trying to balance a teacup and a saucer on your back. So keep it as straight as possible with your belly button tucked into center. Then start to peel up and find your way into a warrior one line facing the top end of the mat. Bend your lead leg, think knee and ankle in a straight line, and maybe angle in the back leg slightly at 45, and float both of your hands overhead. Try to give me a little drop down through the pelvis, reaching along through your fingertips, thinking of framing the ears on either side. Then keep your right hand where it is and relax your left hand to your back thigh. Maybe coming into a modification of peaceful warrior and looking up towards the sky. Maybe taking your back hand and wrapping the fingers around the thigh of the back leg. Then straighten up both legs. Start to drop your lead hand to the inside of the lead leg, preparing for triangle, maybe pushing with the back of your hand against the inseam of your leg, and maybe beginning to float your top arm up to the ceiling. If the floor is accessible, you can tap your fingertips or place your whole palm onto the mat. If the floor is not accessible, you could use a block on the inside of the leg and press gently into the block. Pause here and then look to stretch the top of your ribs by bringing that top arm closer towards your ear and starting to reach for the wall at the opposite end of the room. Stay here or begin to play with that top arm, starting to trace a big circular pattern as big as you can, reaching as long as you can through your fingertips, inhaling maybe for half of your circle and then exhaling for the other half. Find your way back to your extended triangle. Open it back up into your triangle. Bend the lead leg, start to morph and find your way back into your original plie line on the mat to lift and lower for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, end low and pulse for 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, end low, heel lift on and off, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten up the legs, reach through your fingertips, make a star-like frame with the body. Think of drawing the energy up from your kneecaps along the quads, so really give those legs a good stretch. Then square out through the feet, come to Prasarita, your tabletop wide standing straddle, Prasarita Padottanasana. Find a long tabletop line through the neck and the spine. Keep that belly button pulled into center. Keep those legs squared up. All right, let's find that sequence on side 2. Bleed up and start to set up a warrior 1 line towards the back end of the mat. Angling in your back foot slightly at 45. Start to float your hands overhead and settle into Virabhadrasana 1, warrior 1. Thinking of framing the ears on either side, reaching along through your fingertips, but trying to keep your collar line soft and relaxed. Keep the left hand where it is. Relax the right arm down to your back thigh, maybe wrapping your fingertips around the inseam of that back leg as you find your modified peaceful warrior, thinking maybe slightly crescent frame through the back. Then start to straighten up both legs. Start to drop your lead arm down to the inseam of your lead leg. Find purchase where it feels good for you. Start to think about making that T-frame through your arms. So if you need a visual cue, think of running a broomstick from your top wrist to your bottom wrist. Pause here, drawing up energy along the quads on both legs. Then bring that top arm closer towards your ear. Start to stretch through the top of your ribs. Tap the wall at the opposite end of the room. Stay here or start to trace a big circular pattern. It could be a forward stroke or a backward stroke, whichever feels good for you. Keep those legs stretching, reaching as long as you can. Find your way back into your extended triangle. Pause here, looking for that long line through the ribs, through the arm. Come back to your open triangle, Utthita Trikonasana. Then bend the legs, find your way back to your plie line. You're going to lift and lower for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and low to pulse for 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, and low heel lift for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Ground your feet, lengthen your legs, reach through your fingertips, find your star. Then square up the feet, fold forward into your standing straddle, maybe resting your hands on your hip creases. Making sure that you're anchoring through all 4 quadrants of your feet. And then set up a warrior 2 line towards the top end of the mat. So keep your back leg where it is. Start to angle in your front leg, opening up your arms into a T-frame. And make sure that you're not dropping the back hand. So you want to think of Lady Liberty, body beautifully balanced on the left and the right side. Tap the wall in front of you, tap the wall behind you. Maybe trying to drop down a little bit lower through the pelvis. Take a big breath in, invert your front hand. Drop your back hand to the back leg. Think of that peaceful warrior, maybe making more of a crescent frame, bending the lead elbow and almost arcing and framing through that arm and looking up towards that palm. Don't lose the bend in the lead leg, and maybe using your fingertips of the back hand to wrap around the inseam of the back leg. Then start to morph into a side angle. Start to bend more aggressively through the lead leg. Tap the lead elbow to the lead thigh, maybe pausing here. Maybe you'd like to slide your hand down the inseam of the leg. Maybe you'd like to open up both arms into T, thinking of replicating that T-frame we played within the triangle. Or you could perhaps take a bind here, relaxing the bottom elbow, tucking in between the 2 legs, and bringing both hands into a little bear grip behind your back. Try to drop the pelvis as low to the floor as you can, wherever you're playing. Stay here, or try to stay in the bind and come back into your standing straddle, squaring up through the feet and dropping the crown of your head as low as you can to the floor. Then unbind, find your way back into your plie line and start to lift and lower for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. The thighs should be starting to burn. 3, 2, end low to pulse for 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, end low and heel lift for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start to straighten up the legs, start to reach through the arms. Think of that beautiful star-like frame that you're creating. Think of your fingertips, your toes, and your crown being the 5 points of a star, and reach, grow through those points. Then square up your feet, drop your hands to your hip creases, and fold forward, trying to get a nice stretch on the inseam of your legs while holding a tabletop stretch. Weight bearing equal on all 4 quadrants of your feet. Let's set up warrior 2 on side 2. Start to bend the left leg. Open up those arms, reaching in front, reaching behind, growing through your crown, but trying to soften the collarbones as you keep reaching through the arms. Holding Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. Then begin to invert the front hand. Drop your back hand to the back leg, maybe giving me a wrap around. And start to bend the lead arm, thinking more crescent frame through the back. Breathe as generously as you can into the front of your ribs as you hold your reverse warrior, Parivrtta Virabhadrasana. Then start to bend the lead leg, bend the lead elbow. Find your side angle. Maybe you're just staying here with your elbow tapped to the knee. Maybe you're dropping to the mat. Maybe you're opening up the arms into T, or maybe you're dropping even lower through the pelvis and seeing if you can find that bind with your hand or hands bound between the 2 legs. Pause here for a couple of moments, and then maybe see if you can transition from here into Prasarita, squaring up through the feet, but trying to keep that bind. You're going to find quite a lot of inversion of the blood into the head. Peel back up, set up your plie line, and begin to pulse, or rather lift and lower, up and down, not pulsing yet. 4, 3, 2, 1, another 5, 4, 3, 2, we're going to end low and now pulse for 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, end low, heel lift, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, straighten up the legs, straighten up the arms, find your star, reach. Then square up the feet, fold forward into Prasarita. Bleed back up. Think of that warrior 2 frame that you played with the first time. And then start to angle in the back foot. Drop the back, knee, shin, and foot to the floor. And check that you've got knee over ankle on the lead leg. You can either relax your hands one on top of the other, or you're going to open up your arms into a little cactus frame, breathing nice and deeply into the front of your ribs. As you focus on the front leg, you're going to heel lift up and down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax your hands down to the floor. Tuck the toes of the back leg under, and then sit back. Try to sit back, bum to heel, so that you're stretching into the arches of your foot. Extend the front leg, peeling the toes up off the mat and just relaxing your hands to the mat. You can give me a slight hollow belly and a rounded back. Hold your modified hamstring stretch. Ardha Hanumanasana. We're going to find our way from here either back into that low lunge, or this time you're going to give me a high lunge. Bend the lead leg. Try to keep the back toes under and bring the back heel up off the floor. Stacking on the thighs or opening up into that cactus frame and then repeating the heel lifts for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax your hands down to the mat. Relax the back knee, shin and foot, soft foot this time. Sit all the way back, trying to wrap your bum cheeks around your back foot so you're sitting on the foot. Extend, maybe dropping your hands to the mat, or maybe you'd like to bind to that front foot, either with your hands or maybe using a belt or a strap to help you make that connection. Slightly hollow belly. Hold. And when you're ready, find your way back into your PA line as gracefully as you can and start to lift and lower for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, end low to pulse for 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, end low, heel lift, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Glorious stretch as you find your way into star. Reach as tall as you can. Then square up your feet, drop your hands to your hip creases and fold forward into a tabletop standing straddle. Then bleed up, think warrior 2, facing side 2. Start to rotate on the back foot, tuck the back toe under, relax the feet. Find your low lunge, make sure you've got knee over ankle, stack, or open up into your cactus frame and begin to lift and lower the heel of the front leg. Think of having a whole walnut between your two shoulder blades and you try to crack it with your shoulder blades. So really open up as generously as you can through the chest. Once you've done 10 heel lifts, relax your hands to the floor, tuck the toes under and try to sit back bum to heel and extend the front leg up. Maybe just fingertips to the floor or maybe reaching the arms out in front if the floor was not your friend. Slightly hollow belly and a rounded back here. You ready? Let's try to replicate, but this time high lunge. Creep your way forward. Lift the back knee up off the floor, set up your cactus frame, and then begin your heel lifts on the lead leg. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax down to the mat. This time, relax your back knee and foot to the mat and try to sit back bum to heel. Extend the front leg, maybe just draping your hands on the mat. Still thinking hollow belly, rounded back. From here, you're going to change your orientation on the mat and you're going to find your way into Sukhasana, easy sit. Let's lead with the left leg in front of the right. You're going to sit up nice and tall. Place your hands palms down on your knees. Take a big breath in and on an exhale, twist to the left, using your right hand to push the left knee away. Keeping your bum bones equally grounded and your spine beautifully tall. Watch that you're not leaning all of your weight off center. So try to stay as centered with your weight as you can. Inhale to come back to the middle and exhale to take the twist in the opposite direction, pushing opposite hand to knee. Then untwist your trunk, take the front foot and step it over the knee of the back leg. Hugging towards that leg, maybe you're just hugging the thigh, maybe you're hooking your elbow, or maybe you're giving me an extended arm line. Make sure that you're not sitting with all of your weight into your right bum bone, so both bum cheeks firmly connected to the mat as you hold your seated spinal twist, Ardha Matsyendrasana. Then keep the legs where they are and take your twist, your trunk in the opposite direction, finding purchase, so maybe elbow, maybe extended arm, or maybe you're just pulling that thigh away from you. Try to keep the whole front foot firmly grounded. Then reach for the undercarriage of your foot, or use a strap if you need to connect to that foot, and extend the leg into heron, crouchasana, using the fingertips of your other hand to just prop your spine up nice and tall. So just find a prop position on the mat. From here, you're going to tuck into a half lotus. So you might want to tuck that bottom heel in close to your perineum. Start to tuck into the half lotus line, or come back into Sukhasana if you prefer. Take a big breath in. Exhale to twist, pushing opposite hand to knee. Using your right hand to push the left thigh away. Big breath in. Come back to center. Find your way back into your heron line, maybe crossing both hands at the wrists as you come into your heron this time, or just finding purchase with one hand if you prefer. Try to have the weight of both of your bum bones grounded into the mat, and check that you're not leaning all of the weight off center to one side. So try to have your weight as grounded as you can. Then keep holding onto the left foot with the left hand, or using your belt if you need to. You're going to come into a gate line stretch from here, maybe giving me a soft bowling-like action, arcing and framing, or you could work lower to the mat, maybe trying to grab the big toe with the top hand. Breathe. Try to open up nice and deeply through the ribs. Bleed your way back to center and open up into a nice wide straddle, opening up the legs into as narrow or as wide a V as you can comfortably manage, and just gently fold forward. Maybe you're just creeping and you're stopping with your fingertips on the mat, or maybe you'd like to think Sphinx line and just drop your elbows to the mat. Wherever you decide to play, keep both feet active, so you're bracing into the feet, you're feeling the inseam of your legs working, and then just hold your straddle line. Upavista Konasana. Ease your way from here into a butterfly line, bending the knees, connecting the soles of the feet. You could either wrap your hands around the toes or the ankles. Maybe you want to use your elbows to push the inner thighs open as you hold your butterfly. Baddha Konasana. From here, you're going to find your way back into Sukhasana, leading with the right leg in front of the left. Hands relaxed to the top of your knees. Center your weight first. Big breath in. Exhale to twist to the right, pushing opposite hand to knee. Check the weight on your bum bones. Big breath in. Come back to center. Take the twist to the opposite side, pushing opposite hand to thigh. Keep that spine nice and tall. Keep thinking of trying to float your crown up to the sky. Untwist your trunk. Take the front foot, step it over the knee. Wiggle your bottom foot out the way if you need to make space for your bottom so that you can sit into the mat. Maybe you're hugging the lead thigh towards you. Maybe you're finding an elbow hook. Or maybe you're extending that arm as you come into half Lord of the Fishes, trying to keep both bum bones on the mat as you lengthen through your spine. Give yourself a few breaths here. And then maybe try to keep the legs where they are and try to take the twist of your trunk in the opposite direction. So now opening up the twist, maybe using your elbow or your extended arm, or maybe pulling the knee away from you as you open up your half Lord twist. Make sure both of those bum bones are still connected to the mat. We're going to find our way into a little heron stretch from here. Reach for the undercarriage of your foot. Extend the leg away from you. Trying to sink both of your sits bones into the mat. And then look at your frame and think about how you're going to get into a half lotus line from here. So maybe tucking that bottom foot in closer to your perineum, starting to bend your extended leg. Bring that heel as close towards the inside of the opposite hip bone as you can. Relaxing into your half lotus stretch, Ardha Padmasana. When you're ready, twist towards your top leg and push opposite hand to knee. Keeping those bum bones equally weighted and your spine beautifully long and tall. Then start to twist in the opposite direction. Reach for that top foot as you twist. Maybe grabbing and crossing at the wrists this time as we come back into Crouchasana, Heron Pose. Try to extend that leg and open up that tight little kink behind the knee. Then keep holding onto the right foot with the right arm. And just give me a soft bowling-like action with the other arm, or maybe you'd like to reach for that big toe. As you open up into a modified gate, Paringasana. Breathe nice and deeply into those ribs that are looking up to the sky. Unwrap your stretch. Find your way into a wide seated straddle. Keep your feet active. Keep your inner thighs active. Tilt the pelvis to the 6 o'clock position and maybe then begin to softly fold forward. Maybe finding purchase on your fingertips, your palms, or maybe your forearms. Maybe you even want to take a block or two and just stack and fold onto them. Play, move where you need to, but keep those feet active, keep those inner thighs working. Breathe nice and generously into the back and the sides of your ribs. And then when you're ready, bleed your way into butterfly, bringing the soles of your feet together, binding around your toes, maybe your ankles, maybe you're using your elbows. Folding slightly forward and almost thinking of using your chin to hook over your big toes as you hold your butterfly stretch. Breathe nice and deeply into the back of those ribs. And then to end your short but intense session for today, find your way into a seat of your choice. Maybe you'd like to stay in butterfly, maybe you'd like to come into easy sit or a half or a full lotus. Whichever is working for you, just find a nice tall seat. Relax your palms, hands down to the knees, maybe closing the eyes for a moment or two. Looking for a sense of grounding through your sits bones, keeping that spine beautifully tall and lengthened, but keep the shoulder and the collar line soft, almost as if you were trying to melt the shoulders away from your ears. Try to begin to look for a sense of duality within the body, so energy traveling down through your sit bones into the mat, but at the same time, energy traveling up through your spine and trying to reach through your crown towards the sky. Look for that duality of energy within the body. Tap into it, and then close off your practice for today by bringing your hands to Prayer Mudra in front of your heart. Maybe you're using a soft elbow line today and just taking a moment to thank yourself for making the time to play and connect with your body and your breath. Namaste. Thank you so much for coming out and joining me today. Hope you enjoyed. Till next time, keep it light.